most of those people, I think they have a lot of family expectations back home, which is putting them in a lot of pressure, I think. And at that age, I think even if it was me, I think I wouldn't be able to handle that much pressure.
Thank you, Sudikshya, for joining Sydney Reflect, and thank you so much for your time. And I hope we're going to have really very good conversation. And welcome to Sydney Reflect.
Thank you so much, Niraj, for giving me this opportunity to talk about myself, like tell me, tell about some of my views, my experiences. Thank you very much.
So, when I met you first in, I think it's 2018, while we were doing some volunteering in orientation,
Voluntary work.
yeah, in CQ
Mhm.
University. And then the next time I met you, you were already graduated. Now, when I
Oh,
meet you, you are in a different field. So I just want to
yeah.
know how this shift is going in your life, or how is this changes is happening on your life. It is on purpose, or it's just like you are going with the flow in your life.
So it's not exactly on purpose, but like even though it's with going with the flow, I'm quite like happy with like what's happening for me, because everybody knows, because of pandemic, I think it happened to most of the people that they have to reflect on what they are going to do next. Because at one time what happened was we had to think about like only survival, wasn't it, in
Yep,
2020
that's true.
when like pandemic just hit, so everybody was being laid off and all those things. So it happened to me too, but like I think like shifting from one profession to another profession, I think this is my like third or fourth profession. So
Mhm.
even though it's going with the flow, I think I'm learning things and I'm taking it positively actually.
Oh yeah, that's good. So how do you find life after changing from one profession to other professions? I mean, like, do you still struggling on something like you are still exploring your opportunities, or you are still looking for some passion in your life, or did you figure out on that? So what's your take on that?
So I think like it's really difficult for people nowadays to say like what's their passion exactly. Like I have some passions too, like, but sometimes I always reflect, is that really my passion or not? So like while I was teaching, I found out that I really like teaching and doing research, so that is
Mhm.
my passion. But apart from that, there is a part of me too, like who wants to explore other things as well, because I don't think like I have to stick to one thing. That's my thinking. It might not be same for everyone, but like that's my
Mhm.
thinking. Like I have a passion doesn't mean that I have to be sticking to just that passion. Like I can explore other things and like let myself know myself and know like what I want in my life. So that's what I'm doing right now.
Oh, that's great. So is this something like, did you develop this kind of mindset from beginning before coming to Sydney, or is something you developed here after coming in Sydney?
Like I like sometimes I reflect on myself, like when I'm alone I reflect on myself. So this is totally not me. When I was back home, I was a totally different person, I can tell you that. Like I was totally different. I was kind of shy, I couldn't talk to new people and all those things. But like every year, every month, like I changed. So it's maybe it's because like I'm far away from home, far away from my comfort zone, and I had to do those things myself. So I got a lot of time for myself as well to reflect on what I want, who is Sudiksha. So that's what I'm doing, like knowing myself. And I think coming to Sydney was a great opportunity for me to like explore myself and know what my passion is and know about myself and develop myself, I think.
So what's your at a personal level, what's your personality type? I mean, like, you are an extroverted, or you like going out, or you are something like who like quiet places, just having coffee, reading books, watching movies, or listening to music.
So I'm actually like a very strange person, to tell you the truth,
Hmm.
because like my friends think I am an extrovert, but like when I'm like with a new person, they think I'm not an extrovert, I'm an introvert. So what
Mhm.
happens is like it takes me a little bit of time to open up. But like when I do open up, I think I like to like go out with my friends, have some fun or these things. Apart from that, some of the other time, like I like to go to a cafe and read a book as well. So I think I can't exactly say who am I, or extrovert or extrovert. I think I'm a mix of both of those things.
That's great. So, how do you find life after graduating from university?
Hmm, I miss studying actually. Like I told you, like I like doing research, studying. So I miss studying sometimes, but I think like it gave me some time to explore like what are my options in life. So I got studies as a backing, but like I need to go to the real field to know myself, to explore the options. So I think it's been a great opportunity to like explore lots of things.
Yeah, I think life is all about exploring, and even still, even we explore something, still there are so many things to explore in life, like in terms of health, in terms of financial, in terms of
Mhm.
relationships. I think
That's
I
true.
think
That's
yeah,
true.
making a I think the main goal should be like making a balance in every aspect of our life.
Yeah, that's true. So like what I think is like we don't need to be stick in one thing. We can explore more options as well. So that's what I think. Like having like when I'm talking about the career, let's say like
Mhm.
we have a career. So I don't think like you need to be stuck in just one profession or one career. Like you can explore other things as well. So I know it's a kind of a risky idea because there is like said it's there is no safety net for you, but I think time is now like to explore before you settle down on like what you want for yourself for the future.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think I also feel like what my personal experience is like after 18, 19, or let's say after 20, 20 to around 30. I think that 10 year is one of the best time to explore your hobby, explore your passion, explore your figuring out what you really want in your life instead of settling down in life. I think I also feel like
Mm-hmm.
that. But from where we come from, like after 20 or
Mm-hmm.
25, our parents or our community, they
Mm-hmm.
start saying like we have to get married, we have to settle down, we have to get job
Mm-hmm.
and build a house
Mm-hmm.
and just settle down. But after
Yeah.
coming to Sydney, I also realized that yeah, life is not about just settling down in one thing or in one career. It's about exploring different opportunities. And
Yeah,
I think
that's
yeah,
true.
when we explore different things in our life, and that's what makes our life more interesting.
Yeah, and it lets you know like who you are, because we are, we have so much potential. And I think like if we explore ourselves, like let ourselves think sometimes, self reflect and all those things, I think we will get to know like how much we can do, how much we can be actually. I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I just realized that you have been talking about self-reflection. So how, when did you get this idea of self-reflection in your life?
I think it's actually like when I came to Sydney, I've met lots of very interesting friends. Like they are not even like my age. Some of them are like younger than me, but they have so much knowledge. I think I won't say her name, but like I got this idea from her. Like she always self reflects, and I got that idea from her. Like I need to self reflect on myself to make myself better. So I know like I'm not a perfect person, but like when I self reflect, I can like improve myself. Like, but still I'll have some problems. I'll make some mistakes and all those things. But still, like when I self reflect, I think I can like make myself a little bit more progressive or more interesting, maybe.
Yeah, that's true. And uh, for me, the first time I was introduced with self-reflection was in design thinking. That was one of the unit in our university, and one of the professor introduced us about that one. And every week we have to reflect about what we did in the past week, and that's when I started about self-reflection. And then that's from where I also realized that self-reflection is not just about unit or something that we did in that particular unit, but it's also about in our life. So we can reflect what we have done in our past and what mistake we have made and what are the things that we can improve. And yeah, and it's also, I think it's very helpful for us to improve in a micro level, like just now, just like these days what I'm doing a self reflection is about this podcast. Every time I look myself, I broadcast and I reflect what are the things it went right, what are the things it went wrong, and from where I always start developing and always improve some of the skills that I need to improve. Yeah. So, how is your COVID experience? How did it affected your life, or did it bring some changes in your life?
So I think COVID affected everyone in a different way. So like it didn't affect me because I got an opportunity to be in Sydney, where I have resources, and it's a really good country. So it's really developed country. So even though I'm not a citizen here, like I've got like opportunity to use the resources and opportunity to go out even during the pandemic. So I think I'm fortunate enough to say that it didn't affect me like it has affected like people back home. So the only thing is like I had to change careers because of COVID,
Hmm.
but I think that's okay. Like for me, like I always try to take things positively, and I not like try to blame anything on anyone or anything. So I think like I take it as like an opportunity, as a learning curve and all those things.
So, is there anything that you learn after pandemic in your life?
So after pandemic, I learned that you know toilet papers are important.
Yeah, that's what's happened in here, yeah, during the early days of pandemic. Yeah.
Yeah. So like to tell you the truth, so after pandemic, I found out like how much health is important, how much hygiene is important. So like we don't practice so many things. Even in Sydney, like it happened because people don't try to wear mask and all those things because they think it's not effective. But of course, if you wear mask even during the flu season, I think it it makes a little bit difference. So from this pandemic, I think everybody needs to know that how much hygiene is important.
Yeah, that's true. And this pandemic, what I've learned is about, like, I have also written in one of my status during the pandemic, like, this pandemic has taught me, like, as a whole, as in a world that we everybody's are connected, like no one is separated from each other. Like even you are here in Australia, even we are here in Sydney, and some people's maybe in USA, in China, back in Nepal, yeah? We all are connected, and even someone did a small mistakes in their life, that can particularly affect a whole world. And I think that's what I think this pandemic about. Like it all started from Wuhan, China, but it spread throughout the whole world and it's
Whole
affected
world.
everybody's life.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I think it
And
it
another
make me,
thing,
yeah,
like,
it make
yeah,
me feel like we all are connected.
yeah. And I another thing, like I remember, I think it was one of your status as well, like how much mental health has been affected because of this COVID.
Mhm.
So I
Yeah.
think that's also one thing, like, even though it's accessible to everyone in country like Australia, but it's not accessible in Nepal. So, like you said in your status, I think mental health is also one thing what everybody needs to reflect on, because at the end the only thing important is peace of mind.
Yep.
So I think that's also one thing COVID has made us all realize.
Yeah, what I have also found, like reading news and having conversation with my friends back in relatives, like they are sitting in lockdown in their homes and they are bored with their life, like they're bored with themselves and they are having some kind of like dizziness or some kind of frustration being alone in the home. And
Yeah.
yeah, I think I also feel like we should enjoy the time with us. How do you see, like in my personal level? I feel like I enjoy the time being with me. I mean, like when I sit at home alone, yeah, I enjoy the time with me. I don't feel like I'm alone. Yeah, I enjoy. I just read books or I write some blogs or I watch some movies or I just go to some park. But I enjoy the time that is being with me. But when I have conversation with some of my friends, they feel like they are alone when they feel alone. So I don't understand this one. So what's your take on this one? How do you feel on that?
I know exactly what you mean, because I enjoy being with myself as well, because I think that time is really important, like to get to know you. And like you, I like to go, like sometimes I visit new places myself. I don't need anyone, because just go out, sit in the sun, go somewhere, read a book. I think I enjoy being myself with myself. So I know like what you mean. And I also don't understand, but I think it's take of everyone has their own take in those things. But I know like exactly what you mean, like enjoying your own company.
Yeah. So what is one thing that you must struggle in Sydney? Is there anything that you struggle that
So
maybe in
struggle.
terms of work, in terms of culture, or in terms of anything like in any aspect of your life?
So I shouldn't be comparing with others, but compared to others, I think I have been fortunate because I have had friends who were in Sydney before I came to Australia. Like I have some cousins here already, so I had like support, even though like it not like might not be like total support, but like I had support from my friends. Like I had someone to talk to when I was in need. So I think like it was not that it was much of a struggle. Yes, there were struggles like in the beginning, like finding work and all those things, but I think that's that was okay for that time, because I just came from Nepal. I didn't have any skills for a simple job. So of course I'm not gonna get a job because I didn't have any skills to get those jobs. But like gradually I developed myself, got a job, developed my skills. So I think I open up more possibilities for myself. Yes, there is struggle in this country for everyone. So everyone has their own struggle. So like I think look at one of your interviews. Someone said like everybody has their own struggle, and not listening to others when they say, okay, don't come to Australia or Sydney.
Mhm.
Yes, you will get a little bit shocked, because even though you have a total mind set up that okay, I'm going to go there and get struggle, but you will struggle over here. But still I think when you are at my point, like when you finish your studies and everything, I think you will reflect on yourself and think, okay, that was valid at that time, that struggle. So I think like to answer your question, I think I find myself fortunate, and at this stage I shouldn't be saying that I had lots of struggle in my life.
So at the moment, what changes did you find in your life?
um so like I have developed lots of personalities. Like I can say like I'm not the same Sudiksha who came to Australia like in 2017. So I'm a different person now, not totally different. Like I am the same daughter, I'm the same sister, but like my personality has changed. I can see that in myself. So I'm not that shy person. Like I can talk to someone new, like go and have a conversation myself. So and there are other personalities too, which are not coming up in my mind right now, but like I can see a lot of changes in my life.
So I just want to know, like, how do you keep yourself a positive or like inspire? We know here in Sydney sometimes we feel very low in our life, sometimes we feel frustrated, and sometimes as life doesn't go as according to our plan, and we really feel sometimes exhausted with our life, like boring with your life, but we have to go in our life. And I just want to know, like, how do you keep that positive energy in yourself? How to inspire yourself daily to go forward in your life? Is there any things you do daily, or how do you do that?
So for me, like, yes, I do get frustrated with my life sometimes because I'm a human being. It's normal. So I find I give myself a valid choice to get frustrated, sad sometimes. But like sometimes what I do is like I just, if I'm frustrated, like I don't think about it too much because it's not gonna give me good solutions. So I just try to, it's not a good thing to do, but like try to avoid that situation, like keep my mind occupied. So sometimes I watch videos or some movies or series, or just listen to music or read a good book. So I try to avoid that situation that time, but I have to get back into it at one point anyway. But like at least I will be a little bit calmed down. So that's what I do.
That's good. Uh, for me, like, what I do is like, I have been doing meditation
Mm.
since last years, but it wasn't continuous. Like I used to do like 3 or 4 times in a week, but since the last month, I have been doing continuous meditations, and I think it has helped me a lot. So I find meditations for me is something that gives me a positive energy. And the other things I find is like, as you know, like I have been doing workout, and this workout has
Yeah,
also
you
helped me
are
to
an inspiration to me actually. You are one of my inspirations actually. Like when
oh,
I
thank you
see
so
you, like
much.
I wish I was dedicated like Niraj.
Yeah, I started doing workout, and initially I wasn't that much motivated to start that workout. But as I started, and as I just keep on going, let's see how what happens. Let's see what changes it brings, and I really find good on me. I'm like, I really enjoyed it. So it's been almost three months. I have been going to work out, and I can see some changes in my body. I can see some changes in my habits, and I can see some
Mm,
changes in my in my health as well. And like you said, health is one of the most important things in our life. And what
yeah.
I feel is like, in first priority is always health for me. So yeah, that's what I do. Meditation and workout, that has been one of the key role for me to motivate it at this stage. I want to share one experience with you, and I just want to know your perspective regarding that. It was like, I think just a few weeks ago, I was just scrolling on my Facebook page. So there's a page called Confession, something like Confession, Confession of Nepalese in Australia. So
Mm,
I usually don't read that much, but I don't know why on that day I was just reading all that confession. And what I feel like most of the student here are what they have confessed, like they have gone to some addictions, they have been addicted to gambling, yeah? They have been addicted to
mm,
alcohol, and they are just they are frustrated, they are depressed, they are feeling alone. So what's your take on that?
So yeah, I have heard of those things as well, and which is kind of really sad. Like young kids coming here, like they have so much potential which they can do in Australia, but like going into those things, I think it's a really sad start for them. But when I think about it, I think I haven't seen it, so I can't say it for sure. But like most of those people, I think they have a lot of family expectations back home, which is putting them in a lot of pressure, I think. And at that age, I think even if it was me, I think I wouldn't be able to handle that much pressure. So like at my age now, like I think I have a mindset where like I have seen so many things that I can handle pressure now. But like I think if I am that age, I think it's going to be a little bit difficult for me to handle like that much expectation from back home, studies, work, and work is not just work. You have a different pressure over there, like earning money at that age, which is not happening in our country still now. In back home, people start working after they finish their masters or bachelors. So when people start working here early, so some of them are 17, 18, 19, 20, which is really young. So I think their mind is still developing. Some of them are really talented. Some of them are like they have good mind setup. I've seen those people as well, those kids as well. But I think like these things are happening because they are not able to handle pressure. So it's it's my request to families like back home, like if they are listening, is that they need to understand how much pressure it's here. We are here alone, we are not with our families, so we need to handle work, paying bills, our tuition fees. So there are lots of things. Like some of us are like really fortunate that our families understand, they help us. But some of them, they are not that fortunate. That doesn't mean their family is bad, but everybody has their own situation. But I think at least when they give a call, ask them like how they are doing. So I think that's what's needed right now, like to ask what is really going on over in Australia.
Yeah, I think that's true. Whatever you said, like, and they have so much pressure from their family. They have pressure, financially pressures, and here you have to work. You have to do some part-time jobs, and you have different things in your life, and such pressure, I think, make them so much anxious, like, so that they can focus on their study. They can focus on what they want to do in their life. And so yeah, and whenever I find your Instagram story or post, what I find is most like you're passionate about your dog. So I want to know your story on that. So just tell us your story about you and your dogs. How did it start?
So like I have always remembered having dogs, like even in my house, my mama ghar, or my grandparents house back home, we all have dogs. So like I've grown up with dogs, so they're like my family actually. And everybody in my family, there's like literally no one who doesn't like dogs in my family. So like I think like I grew up with that environment and with dogs. So they are like part of my family. So I don't take them as dogs. So even my dog who's back home, I call her my sister. Like so I think it's like that how I grew up loving dogs. And they are like a really important part of my life. And I think like they are part of my happiness as well. So whenever someone asks me like what do you miss the most back home, I always say my dog, because I can talk with my mom, I can talk with my brother, but like I can't I talk with her, but she doesn't understand me. So like that's my relationship with my dogs.
Yeah, I also find like dogs are so connected with the human being. Um, I also have one dog, and we found it in the street, and we just adopted it. And I wasn't so much connected with the dog, but as we go through, and before I came here, I was a little bit connected with the dog, and I came here in Sydney. And what my mother said, like the dog was very sad for 1 week after I left the home, and that's when I feel like, oh, the dog is so much connected with me. Yeah, that's true. And I think dogs also add happiness in our life. When you are
Yeah.
close with the dogs, when you play with the dogs, it gives a kind of joy, or it gives a kind of happiness in our life. I feel like that.
I can just tell it to everyone that if you have a dog, you will never be alone, because that's what like how dogs are. Like they it's we think that we like dogs are dependent on us, but actually we are dependent on dogs. That's what my take on like having a dog in life is. Like my family, like my mom, even though like my dog follows her around, but I know like my mom can't stay without my dog. So it's the same for me. I don't know how I've been surviving here without my dogs. I don't know, like the only thing like I miss the most about back home apart from my family is my dog. So that's what my take in having a dog in life is.
Yeah, I think when you go back to your country, obviously you'll enjoy the time with the dog.
Last
So,
time when I went, like both of us cried.
oh yeah, so yeah, that happens. Yeah, when you have very deep connection with animals, and that happens. And even the dog shows emotions. They show
Yeah, they
happiness
do.
when you are around, and when you are just far away, they feel very sad. And yeah, that's how we connected with animals. So
That's true.
what are you looking forward in your life right now? Is there anything that you are looking forward in your life, or you just want to go with whatever comes in your life?
No, like ultimately, like I want to go into research. So that's my ultimate goal. Not like my end goal, but like it's going to be part of my life. Because I like when I'm exploring myself, I found out that I'm really good in doing research,
Mhm.
and I have that much patience when I'm doing research. So I want to go into research like ultimately, but not right now, because going to research just for the sake of doing it, I don't want to do that. So I need to develop more skills to go into that part of my life. So right now what I'm doing is like developing more skills, and what kind of skill sets I need to go into research, and also like finding what am I passionate about to find a topic for my research. So I think that's what my future is going to be like.
So, did you have any idea about in which field you are going to have research on, or you are still figuring out on that?
I'm still figuring out about that, but like I'm really interested in topic about like how much a skill is important for a human
No,
being.
okay, okay.
So that's what I'm interested about, but that's not exactly my field. So I'm from an engineering background, but
Mhm.
like I told you, like I don't need to be stuck in one thing. So for me, like after I studied like finished my master's degree, I have been like thinking about how much skills is important for a human being, and how much skill was important for me to develop myself from the first day of me coming to Sydney to the day I am here today. So like I wanted to like go into research on that as well, but that's still undecided. So that's what I'm thinking about right now.
Yeah, at one point I was also thinking like doing a research in the CQ University, but I don't know why my mind changed that. I think okay, let's just postpone for a while and let's just do something before you do some research. So I think I'll do a research, and I don't know in which topic, but so what's the final message for someone who are in Sydney right now? Because since the Sydney border is closed, no one is coming at the moment. But to those who are in the Sydney, so what's your message?
So my message to everyone in Sydney is it's actually about the mental health. So like if you are looking for a friend, or if you need to talk to anyone, I am always there for you. Like it can be anyone. So like if someone wants a friend to talk to, I can be your person. So I can also share my feelings with you. But like if anyone is listening and wants to talk to me or wants to know me, they're always welcome.
Oh, wow, that's great. Okay, so you just talk about mental health. I mean, like, do you find like what's your experience on mental challenges in Sydney? Do you have something like some experience regarding that?
So it's not regarding in Sydney. So of course there is mental challenges. Like sometimes when we have assignments piled up and you have to go to work, you even when you are working, you are thinking about like how are you going to like have like divide your time on, like manage your time on doing those assignments, and how much your assignments are important for your grades, which is important for your future, and all those things. I think those are the pressures which really affected me sometimes. But we had support in our university in CQ that like if you want to talk to someone, like about having pressure of studies and all those things, not keeping up the balance and all those things. But I think like I never used those facilities actually, but like sometimes I think I should have, because it would have helped me to uh, not have that much stress sometimes maybe. But because we come from a country where we don't have concept of these things, so we think like okay, we are supposed to study, we are supposed to work, so it doesn't make sense going to someone and talking to them. But like if you need help, I think you should seek help from someone who is an expert in those things, who knows what you are talking about, and who's not going to judge you for these things. Because like sometimes I'm also judging. Like I was someone who used to judge someone when they say, oh, I have pressure. I used to be that person, but not anymore. I think like if you need help, you should seek help. And in this day and age, I think mental health is really important. Having that peace of mind is important. And if it like if you can have a peace of mind by talking to someone who's an expert, or who might not be an expert, or like can be your friend, is important as well. So I think, yeah, that's my thinking.
Yeah, that's true. You just remind me of like seeking a help. That's so much important in our life, and that's what I have also figured out in my life. Like back, I think in just 2019 or something, like I was having some kind of anxiety, some kind of anxiety, and was totally mental pressure, and I wasn't talking to anyone. I was getting angry. So at that time, I went to a doctor, and yeah, the doctor really helped me, and he counseled about what's going on in my life. And that's when we realize that when you really need some help, you should seek out. Because हाम्रो लाइफमा चाहिँ के हुन्छ नि, we feel like if we ask for help, then we feel like we are losing, or we are loser, we are a failure. So I think that kind
Yeah.
of mindset always stop us. But seeking a help is not like losing. It's actually figuring out what's the problem in your life, and actually growing in your life. I think I also feel like that. So nowadays, whenever I feel like I need some help, so I just seek out who is more experienced on that, who have more skills on that. So I just ask them. So I have this issue, or I have a problem like this. So how can you help you? Yeah, I think seeking out help, talking with friends, or talking with someone who can help you is very, very important in our life.
Yeah, but I think like why we didn't used to seek those help is, I think it's affected by like where we come from. Because where we come from, we have a mindset of if we, like you said, if we ask help from someone, we'll be someone lower, or
Yeah.
some kind of a failure. So but that's not the case. Like it's here, I don't know like back home, but here, like when, like you said, you went to a doctor, he's not gonna judge you.
Yeah.
He's there to help you, isn't it? So I think this, I always think like this kind of mindset, I think if we have back home, like life would be so much easier for everyone. Because the life pace is increasing like every day.
Yeah.
Lots of stress and everything's, and all this, like everything's happening back home. Like if we had like this kind of help back home, I think like it would be amazing for everyone in Nepal actually.
And I think by having conversation like this, I think if someone is watching this, it will definitely help them to have that kind of mindset. And also, if we share our experience, and I think that will also help them to learn from our experience as well.
That's true.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that was a nice conversation with you, Sudikshya. And thank you so much for joining Sydney
Thank you
Reflect
so
and
much.
sharing your experiences with us. And I really enjoyed having such a nice conversation with you. And thank you so much for sharing.
Thank, thank you so much, Niraj. I'm looking forward to more of your episodes. I listen to you every time you post your new videos. So everyone who's listening, please follow Niraj and support him.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Sadiksha. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Niraj.